Paris, the city of love, world famous for its magnificent landmarks. But behind the glittering facade lies a hidden reality, a city being redefined by cultural shifts, poverty, and trash-filled streets. Scammers prey on unsuspecting tourists, ready to strike. Join us as we expose this dark side, confront the people responsible, and reveal the real Paris of today. Our first impression of the city isn't the postcard view, it's the slums of North Paris. Before we confront the predators at the Eiffel Tower, we want to see how the people here really live. Right away, we notice the streets are filled almost exclusively with people from East Africa. It's a chaotic scene, with countless shops selling African spices, food, and clothing. People are standing on the roadside just to pass the time. We don't hear any French, only a mix of what sounds like 20 different African languages. Illegal street vendors are trying to make a few euros selling grilled corn on the cob. They turn aggressive the moment you film them, because many don't have a license to sell. On our way to the city center, we suddenly see a massive crowd of people at the end of the street. It's pure chaos, a constant coming and going. It's a market, and vendors are shouting, promoting their products. But this isn't the market France is world famous for. There's no French cheese or fragrant baked goods. Instead, it's all imported wares from Africa, fruits like bananas, cocoa, and lots of cheap meat. Trash is just carelessly dumped on the ground. The air is thick with a strange mix of spices and the smell of leftover food. We even see vendors performing a traditional African dance, which they believe brings them good luck for their business. As we reach the city center, the scene changes dramatically. This is where poverty collides with luxury. We see a woman with a Louis Vuitton backpack walk carelessly past a man high on drugs. The entire city is dotted with makeshift sleeping spots that people flock to at night. Some of the homeless spend their days in these camps, while others simply lie in public squares, often too helpless to even get out of the rain. A short taxi ride reveals the true scale of the crisis. To our absolute shock, we see thousands of homeless tents packed under every single bridge in the city center. People are forced to live here in inhumane conditions, and the city just accepts it. In Paris, this can happen to anyone. We see the elderly and even people in wheelchairs left to fend for themselves. The sight of the streets alone suggests that the city government in Paris stopped working a long time ago. There is trash as far as the eye can see. You frequently see entire mountains of garbage on the side of the road. Bulky waste that's been dumped illegally is just left to rot, sometimes for weeks on end. Even the public trash cans are overflowing. We see people at a cafe sitting right next to a pile of garbage, casually enjoying their French croissants. Then we spot the city cleaning crew who simply sweep the trash from the curb to the side of the street, where it's just left to sit. Even though so many streets in central Paris are run down and filled with trash, the magnificent buildings near the Eiffel Tower show just how impressive this city must have once been. Tens of thousands of tourists are swarming the area, desperate to experience the world-famous landmark. The entrance is a total crush of people, and wait times of several hours are the norm. We also see dozens of street vendors from North Africa trying to sell cheap junk to the tourists. Either they aggressively approach tourists, or they display their goods on blankets that can be instantly bundled into a makeshift sack to flee the moment the authorities appear. I have to film secretly because the vendors repeatedly get agitated by my presence. Fights break out frequently. Sometimes it's between the vendors themselves, battling for the best sales spot. Other times, it's between them and the military, who are supposed to be providing security. But these soldiers are barely adults. They might be carrying assault rifles, but they seem completely overwhelmed by the defiant street sellers. But these street vendors are far from the worst scammers you'll find at Paris's landmarks. This is the classic shell game, a scam perfected by Eastern European gangs. A ball is placed under one of 3 cups, they're shuffled, and the tourist bets on guessing which cup it's under. From a distance, with a hidden camera, the scam becomes obvious. About 5 people in the crowd are part of the gang. Their job is to lure in a real tourist by pretending to play and win, making the game look easy and winnable. But what the tourist doesn't realize is that the ball isn't under any of the cups. The dealer skillfully palmed it during the shuffle, making it impossible for the target to win. The moment the shell game operators spot my camera, they instantly shut down the game. I'm often aggressively told to stop filming. I suspect one of the accomplices, disguised as a spectator, is a designated lookout, constantly scanning the crowd for cameras. While the men run the shell game, the women of these Eastern European families have other roles. The older women have perfected the art of begging. Watch this. The beggar deliberately feeds pigeons to appear more harmless and trustworthy to passers-by. The younger women run what is by far the most deceptive scam. They approach tourists posing as workers for a fake charity. They push you to sign a list to show your support, but the moment you do, they aggressively demand a donation, exploiting people's goodwill. When we confront these scammers, we are met with pure aggression every time. They do everything they can to drive us away.
That's crazy!
Even spit at us. The soldiers and police who are supposed to be keeping order seem completely unfazed by what's happening. Instead, we see them searching tourists for drugs or hassling teenagers on e-scooters. To understand why crime in Paris is so high, you have to go to the infamous banlieues, the city's suburbs. These are considered the most dangerous places in Paris, no-go zones where even the police don't dare to enter anymore. We see giant, decaying high-rise housing projects. People here have been left to fend for themselves, and the residents remain deeply rooted in their own traditions. The building facades are crumbling. The few shops that exist are covered in graffiti. And with that, our exploration of Paris comes to an end. Please subscribe to the channel to support our future work. We'll see you soon from another city in Europe.